Hey guys, it's Shelby, otherwise known as Shelbizleee here on YouTube, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about salt lamps. So over the last month or so, you may have noticed that I've been trying to change up my background a lot, and everywhere I seem to go in my house other than where I started, every other background seems to have a salt lamp in it. And I didn't realize that until some of you guys pointed it out. Apparently, I do like salt lamps a lot, which there's no shame in, but some of you guys asked me to talk about the benefits of them and when I think about them, if they really work or not. And so I guess I just wanted to tell you guys about them today, kind of like what the claims are that these companies who sell these lamps claim they do, what the research behind them is, and then my experience as well. So I wanted to start off by outlining this video with the four main things that are actually all kind of the same thing that most of these lamps say that they do. So let's go ahead and get started. So let me just lay it out how we're going to go in order. One of the things that these lamps claim to do is purify your air. So I think that's pretty self-explanatory. It claims that they can take particles and toxins within your home, and the salt lamp attracts it and then takes them out of the air. That's one of the claims. Another is that these salt lamps emit negative ions, which if you don't know what that means or kind of like what an ion is, I will explain that more, but just doing the outline for now. The third thing that these lamps claim that they do is help with asthma and allergies. There's number 3. And then number 4 is that it helps promote you being in a better mood. It can change your mood or make you feel more positive energy, and it can also promote sleep, so a much better like sleep cycle. Let's go through them one by one. So the first thing that it claims it does is purify the air, right? This kind of makes sense, but there isn't solid research on this in studies that I could link you to or show you. The idea behind it is that the salt, because it's salt, will attract water vapors, and then within those water vapors are dust particles, toxins, etc. And then the water will get caught on the outside of the salt lamp, but the salt lamp will be able to hold in those toxins and things like that. This could also work in this theory that they claim for mold and bacteria and stuff like that. Now, like I said, there's not really solid research on any of these claims with a salt lamp. It does make sense that something like salt would attract vapor and would be able to then hold the toxins, but I haven't been able to find any studies that show how much a salt lamp takes out of the air, or that they were able to show particles in the air actually being attracted to the lamp and then actually holding the toxins. I've never seen a study like that, so I can't link you to them, and I can't claim that their claims are completely true because there's no scientific research to back it up that I've seen. If you've seen it, definitely let us know in the comments. But as far as air purification goes, I don't really think that that makes much sense. As much as I wish it did, and as much as I love my salt lamps, the aesthetic of them and the idea that they could be doing something healthy for me is awesome. But if we're being logical and scientific here, I don't think there's a basis for it. Now, I will tell you my personal experience with my salt lamp, this one in particular. Really quickly, I have 5 salt lamps. One of them I keep at my work now. This is the first one I ever bought, and I bought it from a small local like artisan shop in San Francisco. I know this one is 100% real salt. It's a real lamp, and it didn't even actually come with a light. I had to go buy my own light for it. As far as air purification goes, this lamp, before I even ever put a lamp in it, a light in it, I would wake up in the morning and it would have water running down it. And this was before I knew about how the vapors worked and stuff like that. And I always wondered, why is my salt lamp wet when I wake up in the morning? It doesn't make any sense. So I took to Ecosia, of course, to do some search on why my salt lamp is getting wet. And it did say that this is your salt lamp attracting water vapors. And I have seen evidence of that in my own life. Now, does that mean that I'm able to say how many toxins it pulled in and it's a great way to purify your air? Not exactly, but I can say that my salt lamp, this one in particular, definitely did attract water vapor when I first bought it, even before I put a lamp in it. Okay, so I mentioned that another one of the claims is that these lamps emit negative ions. So it's really weird because in our heads, a positive thing is a good thing and a negative thing is a bad thing. But it's switched when you talk about ions. Positive ions are not great for you, but negative ions are good. And when a negative ion can attach to a positive ion, then it won't be able to stay in the air and affect your health, basically. So things that emit positive ions are things like your TV, your microwave, your phone, your laptop, electronics and stuff like that. and things that emit negative ions usually come from like a natural source. So they're very commonly found around waterfalls, oceans, and things like that. The idea is that the heat from the salt lamp is attracting the water vapors once again, and once it hits the lamp and it evaporates, then those positive ions are no longer able to stay in the air and they will not be airborne. Therefore, it's helping purify your air and helping with forms of positive ions and like radiation. My friend that I bought this salt lamp with when I lived in San Francisco is so into like stones and things like that, stopping radiation. She believes that this stone she keeps on the back of her phone like helps her from the radiation that comes off of her phone. I don't think that there is solid evidence to prove any of these things because they've never done tests on that and been able to prove it. However, stones and things like that in larger magnitudes, that is true. I think that if the salt was very warm and could attract a ton of water vapor, it could definitely create negative ions and then be really good for your health. But when you're talking about something as small as that little lamp back there, I don't think it's going to be able to have the effects on your health like a lot of these lamps claim. And I definitely don't have any research to point to that and say that it's true, and I don't have any personal experience with that with my lamps because I don't think that's something you can like observe, I don't know, regularly, like through your eyes basically. So I don't have anything to say about that one, but let's go ahead and move on to number 3. So the third claim that they say is it's good for allergens and people with asthma. So what I did find out doing my research on this particular claim is that a lot of asthma inhalers actually have Himalayan salt in them, and I think that that's where the claim comes from, that these are good for allergens and asthma. But I don't think there's a solid reason there either. Just to have a chunk of salt sitting in your house and saying that that will help with your asthma doesn't make sense. But maybe for allergens it makes sense for the same reason that the water vapor makes sense, because mold and bacteria, like we said, can get trapped within the water vapors, and then if it can attract the water vapors, then it can lock them in and they won't be airborne and getting into your nasal passages and things like that. Now, I, again, have not seen any studies and was not able to find any studies where they used a salt lamp and could prove that they were taking allergens out of the air or that the salt lamp improved someone's asthma, but this is totally just a personal experience, obviously very anecdotal, but I have, again, 4 salt lamps in my house. One of them stays on all day, the other one I turn on at night, and then there's this one that one never gets turned on actually. But when I was out of town for a week, I was out of town for Christmas with my family. I got so sick, you guys. Well, I wasn't sick. I was having allergies. It was all in my nose and it was bad. It was one of those things where like you're just congested because your sinuses are just like, ugh, gross. I never have that. I've never had that before. Allergies in general, I just never have experienced them. I'm pretty confident in saying that those were allergies, and I'm pretty confident in saying that's the longest amount of time I've spent away from my salt lamps since I've had them. And I'm not saying that it is the salt lamps only that did it, but I will say that there is a ton of allergens here in Austin and I've never had issues with them. And I'm not saying it's because of my salt lamp, but that's been my experience. And as soon as I was away from them for extended period of time, I had allergies. So I don't know, take that for what you will, but don't think that I'm saying that my salt lamp is going to cure your allergies. I'm just saying that's been my experience. And then the last one, saying that it will help promote a positive, more happy energy and mood and help with sleeping. This is something that you can totally count on that your salt lamp will do for you. So when you put the salt lamp on your nightstand or in your room, whatever, it emits a very amber, warm light. Now, there are plenty of studies that I will link below since there are some studies for this one. Those sort of lights do help your brain calm down instead of the opposite. So if you think about the ions, if you think about negative ions being like orange and positive ions being blue, the positive blue ones are bad for your melatonin production, which is the natural chemical in your body that helps you sleep. And then the orange negative ions are good for you. So since the salt lamp emits a amber warm light, it is proven to help you sleep. Again, those studies will be linked below. Which, if you have an iPhone like I do, there is a setting on your phone where you can turn it into nighttime mode. You can set it up for a certain time for it to go to nighttime mode, and that will turn the colors on your phone from like a bluish tint to an orangish tint. and that's supposed to help you go to sleep, because there have been so many studies that show people have a harder time sleeping because of how late they stay on their cell phones. And whenever you have that mode on your phone, then it automatically helps promote your sleep. So mine goes on around 9 o'clock because I like to be asleep around 11. And if I just so happen to be looking at my phone through that whole time, then the orangish light will come on, and it's supposed to help your brain calm down and produce more melatonin so that you can sleep better. So same thing goes for if you have a warm tone, amber tone light in your house, it does promote sleep. So in conclusion, do most of these claims made by these salt lamp companies stand up to the test of science? Not really, but I do think that they make for a really cute addition to your home. I think that they do give a cozy look to your home, and I think that even if they provide just a little bit of health benefits, I'm down for it because it's just nice, and the color of the lamps is proven to be helpful. So even if it's a placebo, I'm buying into it. I hope that was helpful for you guys who wanted to know about it. If you want to, you can go follow me on Instagram, where I'll talk more about these sort of things. And remember, until next time, create the peace.